Surprise! It's Two Chicks, One Book Plug Tuesday.
We're dropping in early to shine a little spotlight on a book you should absolutely know about.
Today we're giving some well-deserved love to an author who deserves a spot on your shelf.
You know the drill. Fangirling, chaos, and probably a fictional crush or two.
Let's get plot twisty! Hey everyone, and welcome back to Two Chicks and a Plot Twist.
This episode is extra exciting because we're covering our book plug of the week. And today we're talking about Of Heather and Thistle by Erinn Maxwell.
We'll give you a taste of what this book is about and why it's worth picking up.
Be sure to stick around because at the end of this episode, we actually get to hear directly from the author herself.
All right, guys, let's get into it. Of Heather and Thistle. So this one, Of Heather and Thistle, it was just published by the publisher Wild Thistle, and it was published at the start of September 2025. So at the time of us recording, it was published 3 days ago. It was published on September 1st. So it's crazy. It just got published. And looking
very recent.
I know. And looking at all of her social media and on Goodreads, which we'll get to later, she has so many reviews already, which is so amazing. I'm sure, as an indie author, she just must feel awesome.
Yeah, it's so hard to get reviews when you're, self-published author or whatever, however avenue you're going. If it's not traditional publishing,
right,
it's a chore. So the fact that she's gotten this many reviews, and they're all really good,
They really are.
We will get to those in just a minute, but a little bit about the author. Erinn Maxwell writes heartfelt romances wrapped in history, mystery, and a touch of Scottish mist. Her debut novel, Of Heather and Thistle, blends slow burn romance with family secrets and a rugged Highland setting, perfect for readers who love atmosphere as much as emotion.
When she isn't weaving stories of love, resilience, and second chances, Erinn can usually be found with her husband and 2 daughters, a caramel latte in hand, dreaming about castles, rain-soaked moors, and the next adventure waiting to be written.
Wow, I think
Me and Erin,
me and Erin would be friends, bro. I got married in Scotland, so the fact that she has these Scottish roots, I'm living for it. I'd read this book just because of the author.
Right.
Just because of the Scottish roots, just because of her author bio. Oh my. We would be friends, Erin. Yes.
Yep. She seems so cool.
Yes. And a little bit about the book. Of Heather and Thistle is a slow burn, heartfelt romance about second chances, self-discovery, and the unexpected places we find home. After a childhood shaped by loss and betrayal, a father who drowned his grief in whiskey, and a best friend who shattered her trust, Heather Mackenzie Campbell has spent years keeping her heart guarded and her roots shallow. So when she inherits her family's crumbling Scottish estate, Glenarran House, she sees it as nothing more than a burden. The plan is simple. Fix it up, sell it, and leave Scotland behind for good. But Glenarran isn't just a relic of the past. Its creaking walls whisper history and forgotten secrets of a past that refuses to stay buried. And then there's Flynn, the rugged, maddeningly charming contractor who seems determined to remind her that some things, some places, some people are worth holding on to. As Heather unearths hidden letters, lost artifacts, and the story of an ancestor who may have concealed something far more valuable than heirlooms, she realizes she's standing at a crossroads. She can keep running, return to the safety of the life she left behind, or she can stay and finally face all she's been avoiding, including how Flynn makes her feel. But some things can't stay hidden forever, and the closer she gets to the truth, the harder it becomes to ignore what her heart has known all along.
Oh my gosh, that summary sounds so good. We need to go there. I want to be there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when I was in Scotland, the only thing I could think about was like, oh, Haley would love this place. Oh my God. I think I even texted you. I was like, dude, we need to take a trip here. Girls trip to Scotland.
We should.
Castles are just casually on the side of the road, you guys.
We live in little old Texas. There's just nothing here.
We got a couple hay bales from no castles, though.
So, guys, a couple of tropes that you're going to find in this one, and it's all tropes that we love. We have forced proximity, found family, slow burn, small town, and also there is quite a lot of banter. So it just sounds so good, and it sounds just right up our alley, and it's right up all of our listeners' alleys too. Because, guys, I know you guys will love this one because it has everything we love, and if you're listening to us, I feel like we have similar reads. So you
Yes.
guys will love it too.
Yes. Everything about this is just giving a mood read. And I'm in the mood right now. I'm
Same.
like, give it to me. I want a feel-good story, and this is it. And this book was inspired in part by the author's own Scottish heritage, as we've discussed.
Yes.
And a little fun fact, at the end of this month, she'll actually be in Scotland celebrating her 30th birthday with her book in hand.
Happy early birthday,
Happy
Erin.
early
Oh my
birthday.
gosh. Can
That's
you
a
bring
full
us
circle.
with you?
Yeah, we were just talking about going, please take
Bring
us
us
there.
with you.
I would love to go back. No, I would be so happy living in my little tiny cottage in Scotland. I could not think of a better place.
I want to go so bad. Your pictures are so beautiful, and from what I've seen
Thank
online,
you.
it just looks so fun.
Thank you. Pictures do not do it justice. It's just insane.
Right. Well, speaking of pictures, we have to talk about the cover, because McCayleigh and I, whenever we both saw it, we were like, this is immediately something we would see just walking down the aisles of Target. So insert cover here or wherever McCayleigh puts it. It's somewhere around us. But the cover, it's so pretty. It's so cute. And
It's very cute.
I feel like I'm also a person who judges a book by its cover. I think we both kind of are. So it just looks good.
Okay, and here's a little sample of the book, guys, just to give you a taste of how amazing it is. And this comes from the prologue. The last time Heather saw her mother, the world was still warm. She remembered the scent of lavender drifting through the air, the way the afternoon light slanted through the kitchen window, painting golden streaks across the floor. Her mother's laughter had filled the space between them, soft and lilting, like a melody only they knew. And then, nothing. Grief had no shape at 9 years old. Not the cold precision of condolences, nor the dull ache of longing would settle into her bones years later. It was a sudden and terrible silence. A house too big without its heartbeat. A father who stumbled more than he stood. A closet that smelled of her mother's perfume long after she was gone. People came and went, their faces blurred by whispered voices and hushed reassurances. She's too young to understand, or she'll forget in time. But Heather understood enough. Her mother was gone.
And her father, though still there, was someone else entirely. The man who once lifted her onto his shoulders and made her laugh with silly voices had been swallowed by something dark and unrelenting. Brandy replaced warmth. Words slurred into something sharp, something that cut even when she couldn't understand the meaning. The man who once tucked her in at night now let doors slam and shadows stretch in long shapes against the walls. She learned to be quiet, to stay out of his way, to flinch before she even knew why. Then came Ivy, her best friend. Bright as summer, fierce as a promise, she swept into Heather's life like a breath of fresh air, filling the silence with stories, secrets, laughter, and light. She gave Heather something to hold on to, something to believe in. The kind of friendship that wrapped around her like a shield, keeping the worst of the world at bay. And for a while, it was enough. But grief does not fade, it lingers, waiting for the right moment to resurface. And years later, when Heather stood at her father's grave, she realized the past never truly lets go.
Wow! The words aren't even there for me to use because I'm just... Books are so good. I love books. I love books.
Same.
Wow. And the way she just wrapped it up at the end. Dang.
It brings up so
much,
my trauma. It brings up so many things, and so it just makes me go back
all in
to
the
being
matter.
a kid.
All in the
matter
matter
of
of
just a
page and a
couple
half.
words. Oh, Erin.
Yes.
But guys, that prologue was really good, which is no surprise as to why this book is getting so many 5-star reviews, which we talked about at the beginning. This book has been out for 3-ish days at this point, 4-ish days at this point.
Yeah.
And she has, I want to say, almost 40 reviews already on Goodreads, which is so amazing. Props to her. Go Erin, go you. She did such a wonderful job at marketing this one. I've been following her for a bit on Facebook, so I knew of her. So yay, Erin.
Yes.
And going back to the reviews, let's go ahead and we can talk about some that we pulled. Do you want to kick us off with a 5-star review, McCayleigh?
Absolutely. So this review says, I flew through this book. Let me start off by saying some Highland cows make an appearance, and they may just be my favorite part of the book. It's really hard to beat the cows. They're just great. And I agree. Okay. Yep. Beyond that, Heather inherits a Scottish estate that is going to require a lot of renovating. Enter Flynn, our dashing Scot with a wealth of dry humor. There's a meet cute, a lot of great banter, and excellent character development for both of our main characters. Heather is dead set on fixing Glenarran House and selling it off, but Flynn throws a wrench in her plans. So does Glenarran House, with its secrets and its history. Maxwell not only develops the characters, she builds Glenarran Estate as a real place for the reader and synthesizes Scottish history and mythology into the story arc as well. Scotland isn't just a setting for the plot, it becomes integral to the story. You can tell that Maxwell took the time to research in order to add the details in for the reader. The fact that this is a debut is amazing. It's wonderful.
Yay.
Wow, that was a good review.
That is a really good review.
No,
yeah.
I'm actually connecting with the Highland cows, man. Those things are the most precious creatures in the world.
Right. We see this, I think it might be a bookstore somewhere in Scotland. And what it is, it's a store where multiple people own it at once. But I think they rent it out as an Airbnb. And if you rent it as an Airbnb, you're like the official shopkeep of the thing. But it was so cool. We need to do that. I want to do that. I want to become a bookstore shopkeeper for like a weekend just for fun.
Wow,
that would be so cool.
What a cute concept. Oh my God.
Know.
Oh.
Okay, let's get into another 5-star review. And this one says, I love that this book was set in Scotland, and I really like the history pieces that were placed in this. Then the dialogue between the characters is on point, and the romance between the main characters, I liked that it built slowly throughout the story. In my opinion, it made the characters feel real, giving this component of the story authenticity to the relationship that was evolving. Another thing that I enjoyed about this book was the journey these characters took, how healing was a component of finding yourself, and that finding a place to call home, or even to feel like you belong, is somewhere you least expect. This was very evident in this book. I love the storyline, the pacing, and the characters. This was a fantastic debut novel. I look forward to reading more by this author.
Wow. Round of applause.
I know. It's like, I don't know what to say because I'm like, we need these people to write reviews for everything we do. They write them so well.
No, these are excellent.
Okay, guys, before we go, let's go ahead and let's get into Erin's audio clips that she sent us to a couple questions we had about her books.
What inspired you to write your book? Was there a specific moment or personal story that sparked the idea?
Of Heather and Thistle was born after I lost my uncle to alcoholism in 2022. Writing it became a way to process grief and explore my own resilience. But at the same time, I was digging deeper into my own Scottish roots, which felt like a natural backdrop for the story. Scotland's history, mystery, mythology, and just rugged beauty inspired me to create Glenarran House, the setting for this book, and it's a place where grief and healing meet love and legacy.
How would you describe the heart of your book to someone who's never read it?
At its heart, Of Heather and Thistle is about a woman learning to stop running from her pain and her past and embrace the life that's waiting for her. It's really about grief and friendship and healing wrapped in a slow burn romance set in the Scottish Highlands. And so if you've ever felt stuck between the weight of the past and the fear of moving forward, Heather's story is a reminder that love, whether for yourself or someone else, can help you find your way home, wherever that may be.
What's a theme in your book that you hope readers really feel or walk away thinking about?
One of the themes I really hope readers take home with them is friendship, the complicated kind, whether it is, platonic friendship, but also the kind of friendship that blossoms into intimacy with a romantic partner. Heather's friendship with her childhood best friend Ivy is one a lot of us can recognize. You love them, but they don't always love you in the way that you need. And I wanted to show that heartbreak isn't just about romance. Sometimes it's about realizing a friendship is toxic and having the courage to step away. And so I hope readers feel seen in that, but also encouraged that outgrowing someone doesn't make you cruel, it makes you brave.
What makes your book stand out from others in your genre?
I think Of Heather and Thistle stands out because it's a true slow burn. A lot of books in the contemporary romance genre call themselves slow burn, but the spark, I feel, comes on rather quickly and kind of unnaturally. But with Heather and Flynn, you're really, really rooting for them, and you just kind of want to yell at your book, just kiss already. Their romance unfolds slowly and naturally, and it feels real because Heather herself is complicated. She feels like a real person. She feels like us. She feels like a friend. Beyond the romance, it's also her own hero's journey. And layered into all of that is history and mystery, some mythology, a Scottish estate with secrets, whispers of Jacobite rebellion, and a family legacy that's just waiting to be uncovered.
Is there a particular scene or moment in your book that you're most proud of? What makes it special to you?
My absolute favorite scene is when Heather and Flynn meet for the first time. It's a really funny, super charming meet cute, and I refer to it as the cows in the rain scene. And I won't spoil too much, but it involves a Highland storm, some very stubborn Highland coos, and two very, very drenched, very, very cold people. It's funny, it's unexpected, and romantic all at the same time. It's the moment that sparks everything between them, and I think readers are really going to enjoy it, and it's definitely memorable.
Which character or scene was the hardest to write, and why?
The intimacy scenes, I think, were the hardest for me to write. This is my debut novel, and though I've read lots of contemporary romance novels as well as historic romance novels, I didn't want the sex scenes to feel like placeholders or just spice for spice's sake. I really wanted every moment to stay true to who Heather and Flynn are. Heather's grief, their tenderness, their humor, and writing them in a way that just felt raw and real, but also beautiful and really heartfelt, stretched me the most as a writer.
Did you base any characters, settings, or events on real life, or did it all come from your imagination?
So I've had readers ask me if, this story is based on real life or imagination, and I'd say that it's a mix. The emotions definitely come from real life. Heather isn't me, but her grief and introspection were drawn from my own experiences. And honestly, I wanted to create a character who felt like one of us, who felt like an everyday woman who's been touched by toxic friendship, who's experienced loss and grief and hardship. And so really she's a love letter to womankind. But on the other hand, Glennoran, the estate, is inspired by Scottish castles, especially Mid-Hope Castle, better known to Outlander fans as Lallybroch. And I'll say it, I'm a huge Outlander fan. Diana Gabaldon has inspired me in a really big way. And when you meet Flynn Duncan in this novel, you may just see some similarities between him and Jamie Fraser, the King of Men.
When can readers expect your next book? What can you tell us about it?
So the sequel to Of Heather and Thistle, it's actually already in the works. It has a name. It's called Of Fate and Fortune. And this one dives deeper into the mystery that Heather inherits. No spoilers here, but there is a treasure hunt tied to Jacobite history, more romance with Flynn, obviously, and even bigger stakes. It blends history, mystery, some Scottish mythology, and romance in a way that feels like Outlander meets Indiana Jones meets the humor of a Emily Henry novel. And my plan is for readers to get it in 2026. On the other hand, there will be a third story, and this one will be the origin of all of the history that Heather uncovers in both book 1 and 2. So this one will be a historical romance. So that'll be a fun one for you guys to look out for.
All right, guys, and that was Erin Maxwell. You can get your copy at Amazon or Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, for all of our Kindle Unlimited girlies.
Yes, I'm not one, but
I know, we're not one, unfortunately. I have the Kindle app, but I never read on it, so I don't know. So guys, if you want to check out Erin, her social media, her website, you can find her on Instagram at Erin Maxwell Writes, on Facebook, Erin Maxwell, and her website is erinmaxwellwrites.com. And something that I found really interesting while doing a little bit of snooping, Erin, is that she has a Spotify playlist, which you can find on her website or her social media, to listen to while you read, which I think is so cool. And I was like,
gosh.
I want every author to do this because that is such a cool idea and concept. I don't think I've ever,
What?
I've seen a couple authors do it, but
yeah, I've seen a
I
couple
need more
authors.
people to do it.
But the fact that she has a Spotify playlist for her book, which takes place in Scotland, really
I know, and
is
the music on there is like really good.
Yes, me and Christian, when we were driving through Scotland, because we drove from city to city to city, I looked up playlists to drive through, like, so specific. Driving through Scotland Spotify playlist, and it's giving you magical and very indie music. So I'm really picturing what's on this Spotify playlist. I need to go look it up. It's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our dive into Of Heather and Thistle by Erinn Maxwell.
A huge thank you to Erin for sharing this story with us. We are so grateful you trusted us to help introduce Of Heather and Thistle to new readers, and it's been such a joy getting to step into this world that you created.
We also want to send her another thank you for sending in those voice notes. It just added such a special layer into today's episode.
If you haven't picked up Of Heather and Thistle, now is the perfect time.
Well, thanks, guys, for listening to Two Chicks and a Plot Twist. We'll be back Thursday with another episode.
Bye!